Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Room for Sunshine. We are doing just that. We are going to make some space to feel a little lighter and a little brighter this Monday morning. My name's Alyssa. Welcome back to the show. It's a new week. It's a fresh beginning. We're peeling back a new layer of a new orange, and I don't know if that's useful or applicable, but that's what came to mind. So, fruit. I guess I'm an orange today. What kind of fruit do you feel like today? I'm going to ask that question. Just think to yourself, like, what kind of fruit do you feel like today? Not do you feel like eating? What fruit do you feel like you are? I don't even like oranges that much. I have a friend who hates oranges. She's going to be mad. But I think I'm like a grapefruit. I'm a grapefruit this morning. Kind of like plump, filled up with juiciness, but you got to really like peel back the layers to get into it. And then, it's a little tart, but also can be really sweet. I'm a grapefruit this morning. How about you? Welcome back to the show. This Monday is about perspective. What I mean by that is this weekend I was thinking a lot about the fact that the same thing that was stressing me out could also stress me out in the opposite way. So that thing, rather than using the word thing, which is a horrible word, that which was stressing me out was I was having this moment of, wow, I live in a place that is very small. And living in Bali and on this island, I know a lot of people, and there's plenty of people I do not know, but it can have the feeling of living in a small town. If you've ever lived in a small town, it's that energy of, you kind of go, there's only so much energy changing and shifting. And, I'm like, I want something new. I want something fresh. And then today, what I'm feeling is overwhelmed by the idea of leaving the island to go on a trip for a month. And I think it's just interesting because the same thing that can cause us to do another action is also sometimes the thing that we end up falling back to and wanting. And I think that there's something in this. How do we look at something that we currently are struggling with and basically go, well, if I had that thing, how would I feel then? And it's not to not want it. It's just to recognize the blessing or the gift in wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And I say this because I think that it's easy to get locked into not just our own perspective, but the perspective of society or people around us. So, that idea of Bali feeling really small is coming from me, but it also could come from somebody else, somebody saying to me, oof, Bali's small. How does it feel to live on that island? So like that registers, right? It doesn't just go away. And then at the same time, as I embark on a big adventure, I'm thinking to myself, but I like my home. I like my couch. I like my nest. And that could also be influenced by somebody saying, you were just gone a couple of months ago. You're fleeing already. We can get human brains are amazing. They pick up on everything. So I hear fleeing and I think to myself, I'm not fleeing, I'm traveling, I'll be back. And so today, what I really encourage you to think about is what needs a reality check? What needs a perspective check? Just so that you can enjoy wherever you are. And that's what we're working towards, right? I'm just trying to enjoy being in Bali while I'm in Bali, and then I want to go enjoy being somewhere else when I'm somewhere else. I guess it's sort of that grass is always greener thing as well, where we idealize whatever it is that we want, And then when we have it, we were so fixated on having it that we forgot to just enjoy what we had when we had it. And I've really tried to work on this in my own life because I used to be a planner, a hyper planner who not just planning, but planning where I want to be in my life. You know, I would say, okay, here's my 5, 10, and 15-year plan. And that's great. I still have that to a degree. But what I've noticed has shifted the more that I have paused and gone into self-reflection and done mindful practices is I really have started to surrender to the moment. But even with that, I still get so caught up in the future that I miss the magic of the moment. And I was talking to somebody the other day who has a big event coming up and was overwhelmed, was anticipating her overwhelm for the thing that hasn't even happened yet. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, if you're already overwhelmed about it now, the day that it comes, you're probably just going to be so caught up in that whirlwind that you don't even get to enjoy the event, let alone the journey to get there. And I think that happens with a lot that we do in our lives. You know, if you're planning an event, if you're planning a pitch meeting, if you are trying to go audition for something, we get so wrapped up in what is the final destination and how do I get there that we miss being in the present. And so I guess really we flip the perspective and we ask ourselves, we challenge ourselves to look for a new perspective so that we can come back to the same reminder that we need to enjoy what we have right now because everything could change at any minute anyways. So pick one thing that needs a perspective shift. And maybe that just is because, you know, you need to get clarity or you need creativity. But think about one thing in your life right now, personal, professional, otherwise, that, you know, you're holding on to, a story that you're holding on to right now. And then consider if you had it, if you accomplished it, if you received or achieved it, would you miss or what would be lost from the moment that you're in right now? And basically, can you just develop some appreciation for where you are in the journey, regardless of how long it takes to get to the destination? And so for me, sealing in here from Bali, what I want to think about is how do I enjoy being here and then let it go without attachment so that when I go and take off and go on to this trip that I'm going on, I do the same thing there without already being in the state of mind where I go, okay, but then when I get back to Bali, when am I going to do this workshop? When am I going to do this? Because all we end up doing is missing out on the magic that is the moment now. And there's a sign that I love passing by anytime I'm down at this beach town called Uluwatu that says, you're only given one sunset a day. And I think that that is exactly what I want to get across today. You're only given one sunset today, one sunrise today. So if you're thinking about the sunset 3 weeks from now, you missed the one today. And I hope you enjoy it instead. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Alyssa, and I will see you next Monday, bright and early, making room for sunshine. Let it shine.